someone who's just a one-handed heavy armor guy. Like, I've never done that. And so it was like, alright, orc, one hand, shield, heavy armor, let's go. I've been level 1 for the past 119 hours.
Lovely.
It's ridiculous. I have the Mace of Molag Bal, the Shield of Ysgramor, and assorted heavy armor because it's just what I can find or steal. I have ebony boots, stolen. Some type of greaves? No. Greaves aren't things. They come with the armor. So, ebony boots, orcish armor, which is also stolen. And what type? Some gauntlets, which I'm pretty sure are also stolen. No, they're wolf gauntlets. Those aren't stolen. And then a dwarvish helmet, which isn't stolen. But I have like 4,000 gold worth of stolen items on me at any given time.
Nothing wrong with that, man.
Right now I'm hanging out with Jonathan, who came up from Tennessee to do the ziplining thing. And I'm also here with Will, who came over to visit, because Jonathan's here.
Pretty much.
So, essentially, our plan for tomorrow was to go do ziplining with Hunter's mom and everything. But Maddie is like, oh, Nerd Tanker says Jonathan. He's never met you before. So, yo, Nerd Tanker Jonathan? Jonathan Nerd Tanker?
What's up?
I don't think Nerd Tanker's met Will either. Yo, Nerd Tanker Will?
I'm the thumbnail for like half of his videos.
Dude, it's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
A lot is gone, yeah. But yo, so Maddie said that she can't take us down to Hunter's mom's. And then David, I just got off the phone with David. David also can't take us down to do ziplining with Hunter's mom. That was our other car, choice, Jonathan. It seems like we're not going.
We're gonna work something. We gotta work something out, maybe.
Nerd Tanker says, so that's the Dynasty Warriors guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Nerd Tanker brought up Dynasty Warriors yesterday, and he was like, yo, so you're telling me that if this Jonathan guy was on the stream, we could, talk Dynasty Warriors? And I was like, yeah, I could see it.
Just, set your phone up somewhere so that it gets all 3 people.
I mean, I can flip the camera whenever I need to, kind of thing.
I mean, you could, but
it's an
you
option.
Also just, set it up on your computer and be like, everybody. And you wouldn't have to, keep swiveling.
Well, I mean, this is how you get, those interesting shots, my boy. I can control the zoom.
No, okay.
I can,
So this is
pan.
about control.
There are filters and shit.
By hand. Man, that's really exquisite, Jack.
Yeah, it's hand panning, my guy.
Isn't that how they get gold in the Old West?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What have you been up to? School? And what else?
I got a scholarship for my birthday. Got nominated for another scholarship. I'll see if I get that next month. I've been doing a lot of vlogging. Gaming has been a thing that I can now do as a live stream. So I've been live streaming Skullgirls, and I've been live streaming Dokkan Battle. Skullgirls is like a fighting game. It's pretty dope.
What Skullgirls is.
Oh, okay, solid.
I've seen people play it. I've never actually done once. I saw one person play it and I had no idea who it was. It's just clicking on random YouTube videos.
There you go. Yo, you should hit us up sometime. Next one's going to be episode 8 or whatever. Gerard plays Skullgirls. Not the mobile one, which is what I do, but he plays actual Skullgirls. So does my friend Dylan. I've played actual Skullgirls.
There's a mobile version of Skullgirls.
Mm-hmm. There's also
I must be really behind.
Mobile Blaze Blue. I haven't picked that one up yet. If people are interested in seeing it, hit me up with a comment. Probably not. But, no, I think there actually would be a solid fan base for it. It's just different from what, we already have on the channel, which means we'll get more viewers of, people who are outside of the normal fan base.
Which is
a good thing, yeah. That sounds all positive.
You gotta grow your channel, man.
Mm-hmm. And plus, I deleted Pokemon Go.
I'm saying this because I definitely am the huge expert at growing YouTube channels.
Facts.
Just like Donald Trump's fake news, I am clearly not fake news, guys. Don't worry about it.
I like how you said, just like the fake news, I'm clearly not the fake news. Yeah.
Oh, Isaac might not be around for the next semester.
Isn't he working?
I don't know what he's doing right off, but he says he's going to try to make it for the D&D sessions.
Yeah. Have you guys given any thought to what you have been? You're still gonna do the barbarian thing,
Yeah,
right?
I'm doing the barbarian thing.
Have you given any thought to what you're doing over the break?
I've heard that Gerard might want to jump into the campaign,
Okay.
and I feel like he may be more committed than me. So I feel like if he like really does want to do it, like let him in, kind of thing.
Sure.
Yo, Kirby, welcome to the stream. Good to have you.
Yeah, I figured for your spider thing, you're gonna have like 2 regular hands that are like just as useful as everyday hands, and then the other 2 sets would be able to like use items. So you could have a potion or alchemist fire or whatever.
Right now they're talking about D&D to give a little bit of context.
Yeah. So his he has a magic item. He's a druid and can shape change into animals, and he has a magic item that allows him to like shape change into hybrid things, so like a human mixed with a whatever. And so if he turns into a giant spider and uses the hybrid, he's gonna turn into basically Man Spider from Spider-Man, if people know what that is.
People know what that is.
It's got the 6 arms and 2 legs. And so I was just wanted to like clear anything up. It's like you can wield like regular weapons, but if you wanted to like hold extra shit like potions or like wands or whatever, you could do that additionally and wouldn't have to draw it.
Kirby says that he would be an archer in Dungeons and Dragons. Do you mean like a ranger, or do you mean like a fighter with a bow?
There's a bunch of different archers, but like all of them are fine, unless you're like a wizard archer, in which case that's strange. Maybe you could make it work in 5th edition.
That's what Isaac's doing, isn't it?
Yeah, kinda. Like elf wizard, anything could be a decent archer.
He said
proficiency.
He said a range archer. He didn't put ranger. He said
probably.
That's probably what he meant. What race would you be, Kirby? Nerd Tanker said I'd be a paladin.
Paladins are my favorite to play as a player, and druids are a close second. But as a DM, like I just get to play everything. I get to play anything I want. Crazy guys that can fly and just drop ridiculous fire spells on the entire party. That's fun.
Kirby says he's only played D&D 1 time. I wonder if I would stream D&D. I think that would be cool. If it was a video, I feel like I'd be more invested.
Be the DM. You can play D&D whenever you want. Just get your friends and be like, we're playing. Be the DM. You don't even need that much stuff. You just really the player's handbook. And I'd suggest the monster manual, but you don't even have to like get that. There's all sorts of stuff online where you can just be like, oh, what's this? And look it up, because they released some stuff for free already.
Let's see. So we've talked about D&D. Yo, you said we'll find a way to make it to ziplining? Yeah. What do you mean?
Uber.
I'm not... No one's gonna Uber. That's like an hour Uber ride.
Taxis? Like...
That's probably more expensive than Uber. I mean, there is a Will, and he's not driving us anywhere.
Yeah, I'm going to Tennessee.
We can start walking right now and make it there.
No.
Bus, maybe? Like, is there a Greyhound line that goes nearby?
She wants us to be at her house at 7 a.m.
Is there a Greyhound?
I'm not riding a series of buses to go ziplining and then ride a series of buses back.
Do it, man.
Nerd Tanker said, I'd play with you on D&D. Nerd Tanker, are you talking about you and Kirby playing together? Or are you talking about us doing a big-ass Google Hangouts call and doing, like, D&D online? I've heard of that working, where, like, we're each playing with each other.
Roll20 is good for that, I hear.
Mm-hmm.
I've, like, looked into it. I hear from a lot of people that it's better in person if you can do it in person.
They're in California.
Right. But if you can, but if you can't, you just Roll20 is, or there's a couple of other things. You can just search, and it'll get you something.
Yo, Tanker and Kirby, I'd DM like a live stream D&D thing if you were interested. post in the live chat if that's something you guys would want to do, and we could find a time maybe to do that. How would you guys feel if if I live streamed you guys as live play? Nerd Tanker says, heck yeah.
I don't know, like, because not just our call.
True,
Unless it's
yeah.
just us playing, right?
Yeah.
If it's a whole group, it's a whole group.
And it's a
I
whole
wouldn't
different thing.
really mind, personally. Like, whatever, it's... but it's not just us, and I don't know, like, there'd have to be some type of, like, there'd have to be multiple cameras. Because it couldn't, unless you just, like, did a weird...
Because I could not
over the
play,
shoulder
but I
thing.
could, like, be doing the shots and stuff.
Yeah,
And, like, some commentary kind of thing.
Maybe. It's weird, right?
Oh, Nerd Tanker says he has the Monster Manual and the DM books. Yo, you should
That's
Tanker.
all you need.
Yeah.
If you have dice, the books, and paper, just like regular paper and pencils. But I assume that you also have that if you have the books.
Yo, I could host the stream. Tanker could DM, and then Kirby could like play alongside for the live stream one.
Yeah, I don't know, and that'd definitely not be just my call and Jonathan's call.
Yeah, it would be like the other people playing. Kirby said I could watch you guys. Yo, Nerd Tanker could DM me, and then Kirby could be in the audience, and then I could play.
Speaking of watching D and other people having fun, Critical Role is going ridiculous right now. Have you watched?
Heard
Have
of?
you watched?
Never.
I've heard of them, but
Yeah, never.
Okay,
I never get
it's-
around to looking at it.
It's 7 voice actors.
Mm-hmm.
It's Matthew Mercer, Laura Bailey. I'm gonna hurt someone's feelings.
Nerd
if people have
Tanker
watched.
just yelled critical fail.
Oh.
There's Matthew Mercer, Laura Bailey, Travis Willingham, Marisha Ray, Taliesin Jaffe, Liam O'Brien, and Sam something. I can't remember Sam's last name. And they're all like voice actors, and they do all sorts of crazy things. Like, Mercer's McCree from Overwatch, for instance. And so they basically just took their home game that they were doing already anyway. And Geek Sundry was like, hey, would you mind us live streaming you? And they said, we'll try it out. And it actually, like, they kept doing it. They're on episode 105. They finished episode 105. It's crazy. Because they're up at ridiculously high levels now. I think they're 17 or 18.
Oh, goodness.
They're fighting Vecna. And, there's magic items in the DMG that are the hand of Vecna and the eye of Vecna. And he was basically this top-notch lich that tried to become a god. And they're prepping to fight him right now. Because they got their asses handed to them the last time they fought him. But they're like bouncing across the plains they've gone to Elysium right now. They've talked to the cleric's god. Oh, I forgot Ashley Johnson.
Yo, we got another viewer. Yo, welcome to the stream. Right now, Will is talking about Critical Role.
Ashley Johnson is their cleric, and they went to her domain, her god's domain,
Oh.
and like got some shit.
Oh, thank you for the likes. Let's try to get this video up to 5 likes if possible.
5 likes. Hi, Jack. And they visited another god, and they did. It's ridiculous.
Nerd Tanker says, are you guys going to do an actual hangout call so I can talk with you guys? For the D&D thing, yeah. For the us hanging out in the room thing, right now, nah. It's like a little more work, and it would essentially be the exact same video, but there'd be like audio from like you guys, which there's nothing wrong with that, but you guys can also type. You can do exactly what you're doing like right now.
You should set up a text to voice thing on
That works through the YouTube live chat. I feel like I'd have to know like more web-based coding, or like have a Python script that I can run. Because my dad was talking about the Python versus C thing, and he's like, I mean, they can do around the same things, but C can run things much faster. And he's like, whenever I need to use C while I'm using Python, and he can program C, so it's not like he couldn't do it, but he's like, I just run a script.
Yeah.
Like, I just run, like, a C script in my Python, and then I still am just doing the Python stuff.
Oh, You know what's crazy?
Oh, we're up to 3 viewers. Can we get up to 3 likes though? Come on, I believe in you.
I was just reading through the player's handbook just to see anything that's weird or that I hadn't noticed before. Oath of Ancients Paladin, already my favorite, by far to play as, become immortal in a way. They suffer none of the drawbacks of old age. And I was originally thinking, like, oh yeah, they just, like, don't get all frail.
They don't have dementia and shit.
Right. They don't die from old age either. Like, that's what that means. So they can just, like, once they reach level 15, they can just, like, sit down. As long as they keep eating, they're fine.
Oh, true, because there's still things like hunger.
Right, yeah.
Or, like, disease.
Yeah, there's things that can kill you.
Yo, Christian the Spider, thank you for jumping on the stream. Make sure to smash that like button like your parents smashed to make
usually
you.
the things that live, like, a ridiculously long time are, like, druids. And druids do live forever.
Oh, wow.
They live, like, 10 times longer than they... Like, they age at 1/10 the rate.
Tankers says he's been playing D&D for 3 years now. So, yeah.
It's cool.
That is cool.
It's good stuff, man. Right, like, druids age really slow. Like, paladins just, like, stop. They're just like, whatever. Like, I don't give two shits. Not all paladins. Just the ones that... No, Oath of Ancients.
Oh, Oath of Ancients.
The one that's in the player's handbook and is, like, the most ridiculous one out of all 3 because they're like, I'm just going to resist all spell damage. All of it. All spell damage. I resist it.
That's pretty baller, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone within 10 feet of me resist all spell damage.
What?
Yeah.
That does sound really baller. At what level does that become a thing?
6? No. 7? 7.
What's Matt's character's class?
Fighter.
Fighter?
He's an Eldritch Knight.
Nerd Tanker says, so you guys are just going to sit around and talk about D&D? Fine by me. He's like...
I don't know. Do you guys want to talk about something different?
Oh, it's whatever. Like, I just was reading what he said, because I didn't want him to seem, like, outside of the thing.
I mean, yeah, we have been for a while. We might get back on the topic, and we might continue it. But...
Nerd Tanker says, I've DM'd before. Would you be willing to do the DM hangout call thing, Nerd Tanker? Like, for real. Like, we can plan it out, maybe do it once a month or something, and then you just run a campaign with me. I'd be down. Yo, Elizabeth Freitas? I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Said, Oi, yo, welcome to the stream. Make sure to smash that like button. We're up to 4 viewers. Can we get 4 likes?
4 concurrent viewers.
You want that 100%
We
ratio.
I don't know.
Right now we're at 2 viewers and 2 likes. We lost those other 2 viewers so quick.
Oh, it's so sad. We could maybe get Ash into it if he wants.
Yeah.
If he's down, just do like a one shot whenever we hang out. Ash is our friend. That's not. Well, Jet. I don't think you've ever met Ash.
If I have met Ash, it's one of those things where I'm really good with faces but not names.
Jonathan and I are good friends with Ash from before college. And
oh, I remember from Shelbyville.
Yeah, I hadn't met Jonathan until a week before college started. And Ash was like, "Hey, wanna get together, hang out, and play board games?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I'm a huge sucker for board games." And then I met Jonathan, and he was like, "Oh, you're going to UAH? I'm going to UAH. Crazy." And then, yeah, it's ridiculous that we had the same friend for several years and hadn't actually met each other.
And then you ended up going to college together, and you end up seeing each other like a lot more than just like seeing Ash.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. No, we hung out basically every day last year.
Christian says, smash the like button harder than the Hulk. Thank you, Christian. Heavily appreciated. Nerd Tinker says, I'm used to weekly, but I can do monthly for the live stream D&D. Totally down. Yeah, that sounds great. Kirby says, I'm just playing Skullgirls right now. Skullgirls for the win. Yo, he recently got Pain Wheel. Good character. Well, I mean, like, a lot of the D&D stuff goes over my head, but it's still, like, interesting. Pain Wheel is this girl who has a tail that's like a wheel of blades, and she's ultra violent.
I mean, her tail is a
wheel of blades.
Sounds pretty violent. Would you be down for doing like a one shot if Ash is into it whenever we get together for it?
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay.
I think he was saying about maybe doing something this weekend.
Sure.
If I'm in town in time,
Yeah.
I'll try for it.
I'm down for whenever. As long as it's not. As long as it's like after 10 on Mondays and Wednesdays, and then after like 2 on Tuesdays and Thursdays, cause just so I can get from my class up there.
So Nerd Tinker says, for your information, Nick, you never want to roll a critical fail on anything. Most well understood. If I'm a halfling, I can get around that. Will, I think, has a circumstance.
Sometimes you want to roll critical fails on things because it's fun. It's you don't do what you want to do, but sometimes it ends up with really interesting situations that you would otherwise not get yourself into. Like what was it? Spider skulls. The sage barbarian that we had, really smart, rolled a 1 on spider anatomy lessons, and he was convinced that spiders had skulls. So sometimes it's like crazy things that you get from rolling natural ones. Other times it's just terrible and awful.
Another comment. Kirby says, my prediction is Painwheel is the Skullgirl. I don't know. I wasn't thinking about it like that, but only one of the characters can be it. And Painwheel already is like a very big destruction-based character. We haven't explained like any of the Skullgirls lore to you. I explained it a little bit to Jonathan earlier, but I can explain it to the stream and Will.
At some point, I don't remember.
There we go. We're back.
Attention to time on days I don't have classes.
Okay.
So Jonathan was about to describe to Will what Skullgirls is about. We also lost a viewer. There's one person who's like, I'm waiting. What's this lore?
Alright, so from a 5-minute synopsis I got from Jet.
We're back to 2 viewers.
We're back to 2?
You're doing well, Jonathan.
Awesome. So
Double the viewer base.
there's this thing called the Skull Heart, right? And people can go and make wishes on the Skull Heart, but it can only be girls, if I recall correctly.
Sure.
And if they're pure of heart, then their wish gets granted. But if they're not, then they turn into a skull girl. And I never understood if that was necessarily good or bad. And there are some people working against the skull girls, and that's about it.
That's about it.
There was something about like a family that does secret stuff, and other than that, it's
Yeah.
You know what? I feel like I've got the entire idea of the game.
I mean, the idea that you don't know whether or not the Skullgirl is good or bad is like, that's a pretty solid thing you should know.
I mean, isn't Vegeta like pure evil? And that's how he can hit Super Saiyan? It's like pure of heart doesn't mean anything.
It's just about purity in general.
Right.
Yeah, I thought that was a great line from Dragon Ball. It's great that we like went into Dragon Ball from Skullgirls. We didn't even like completely go into Skullgirls. But Vegeta does say, they said you needed to be a pure Saiyan. Pure evil.
Just, yeah, so, you like, what?
The pure shit doesn't even matter. In Dragon Ball Super right now, they've introduced a few female Super Saiyans from like another universe. And one of them learns how to go Super Saiyan by saying like, yo, so you're supposed to get angry, but you don't look like you get angry when you transform. So what do you do now? And she was talking to Kaba, who's like another Saiyan from their universe, but it's like a dude.
Sure.
And he's like, well, the first time I had to get really angry, so I thought I'd have to get you really angry. But now what I do is you get used to the feeling of the energy. And there's like this tingling in your back and you transform. That bitch focuses on her back for a few moments. Go Super Saiyan.
That's so dumb. Why would... Like, am I alone in thinking that that's super dumb?
No,
Nope, no, you're not alone, dude. Here's Will's
never
face.
Just like focused on a tingling sensation.
In your back?
No.
And suddenly get like very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
No.
50 times stronger than you were before?
Yeah, 50 times. Also, like, Super Saiyan's impossible to achieve in the first part. And then, like, every fucking Saiyan can do it that's still alive.
Because they were like, we haven't had a Super Saiyan in 1,000 years.
Right.
And then in a very short period, like you said, every Saiyan... Like, the only Saiyans who aren't Super Saiyan right now that we know of are most of the Saiyans in Universe 6. Because we gotta say, for Universe 6, they didn't know Super Saiyan was a thing until Kaba did it. So Universe 6 only has 3 Saiyans, but their world where the Saiyans live, like, still is a thing. Mm-hmm. So for them, it's still hella rare.
Yeah.
But then for us, Pan, who's a baby, is not a Super Saiyan yet.
Well, she's a baby.
And then Bulla.
And she's not even that Saiyan.
Yeah, she's like a quarter.
Or is she granddaughter or?
Granddaughter of Goku.
Okay, so yeah, she's a quarter. Like.
And then Bulla is not a Super Saiyan, and she's an even younger baby. And that's Vegeta and Bulma's daughter.
Right, of course it is.
Nerd Tanker says, went from D&D to Skullgirls to Dragon Ball Z, lol. I mean, most of the Super Saiyans got angry to transform, so this is so stupid.
Also, this is just how our conversations go. We'll like, oh, what's that? And then we'll bounce back into just like crazy things. Eventually, we'll end up back on some other topic that we've already talked about.
It gets dumber though. Kale, who's also from Universe 6, she doesn't even turn into a Super Saiyan.
Are they even trying with like the vegetable names anymore?
Oh, was the yeah, Kale, and then
no,
the other one is Caulifla, like cauliflower, and then Kaba's like cabbage.
Yeah, they're not even like trying to make it
like less. Oh, because kale straight up is the vegetable. There's no clever twist to it.
Call him Call.
With the Frieza race, the names have become less clever too, because the Universe 6 version of Frieza is Frost. Like Frieza at least is spelled weird. Cold was straight up just cold. Mm-hmm. Cooler isn't spelled weird. That's just cooler.
Yeah.
And Frost, like they went down as soon as we got to like the next one.
like Kakarot being carrot, like that's.
Yeah, that's a little clever.
That's strange enough that you're like, all right.
I may not catch on.
Connection.
But Vegeta is just the first part of vegetable, right, which is still kinda like alright.
Still different enough that you might not make the connection, but like kale.
Oh, maybe some of the translations are making it like that. Because Kirby says cooler in Dokkan Battle is Kura with an R. So, like, with the R change, I could see it being
isn't that
like...
just, like, usually a thing in Japanese translation where they screw up the R's and the L's in translation?
That may also be a thing.
Because they're going for phonetics, and then because it's really hard for a lot of Japanese people to do the L and R. So it might be. I don't know. I'm not a...
He's like, I'm not a linguist.
I'm not a linguist, but I do know that Japanese people often have a lot of difficulty doing L and R differently. And so if they're translating phonetically, like whatever part you're trying to preserve, you might end up with a different translation.
Nerd Tanker says he wants to see Super Saiyan 1 Yamcha, which is a joke on Nerd Tanker thought Yamcha was a Saiyan when he was a really little kid. He does dress like Goku. I thought Yamcha was more important as a child as well. You don't just wear those clothes and not rep squad. What is this?
Yeah, you do. Like, who else did it?
Krillin also has the clothes.
Krillin's lame.
Brandon says he wants to see Super Saiyan Nappa. Yeah, we got 3 viewers but 2 likes. Come on, I know we can get past the like barrier.
Have you guys played any board games this summer?
Other than Dokkan Battle, not really.
I've been trying to get my parents to play Dominion with me, but they're not really down.
Well, Nerd Tanker says it's 3 on his side.
Just jack the whole bear and then it'll be over.
True, never jack the whole bear.
The whole bear.
Or slurp soup with a fork. Or be an indecisive Desiree.
Going the whole bear on Dominion, I'll make people just leave the table.
Yeah, well. Also...
I would love to do the D&D board game.
Don't play... if you're trying to, like, get people into board games, don't play diplomacy with your friends. Like, not with your friends. With your friends that aren't already into board games. Because, you know how Monopoly starts fights?
Yeah.
The goal of diplomacy is to start fights. Usually you play as pre-World War I European powers. And it's far enough before World War I that there's no alliances already built. And then you just make alliances with people and backstab people, and eventually you win the game. And you'll like
Kirby says just play Uno if you want to start fights. When was the last time I've been in an Uno fight?
When was the last time I played Uno?
Last time I played Uno was with Marcy, Maddie, and David.
Oh. When was that?
Over the summer.
Okay.
So like recent, yeah. Nerd Tanker said, so you know about the multiverse. I love the super Namek they have that fuse with almost all the Namekians on Namek, except for like 2 or 3. I don't know what universe that is.
You're living on campus next year, right?
Kirby said +4, bitch. +4, bitch. I don't even get the reference.
Who else your roommate?
I don't know any of them.
I don't know what you're referring to, Tanker, with like the super Namek thing.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds cool.
Because of the housing
Oh,
that's
Kirby's
actually
referring to
what we
Uno.
carried over, because we both technically had
Yep.
priority.
Yeah.
But his was from the honors college and mine was from the scholarship.
+4
so
does
when we tried
trigger.
to match up together, he wound up not being able to get a room because I could never fully accept the housing roommate request.
Wow.
But
Yeah,
Jared
that's
finally got
yeah,
it set up.
He's it's pretty bad, right? Like does he have a place?
Oh
or-
yeah,
Yeah, he
on the
finally
wait
got
list,
one.
and he just got one like a week ago.
Nice.
Yeah. And we hit up Davis earlier to see if he'd be... Well, we want to know what his situation is.
Oh yeah. So did you get any? Like, do we know what his situation is?
No, we texted him like... Well, we did a voice message and sent him a picture like earlier today, so we're still waiting on it. Nerd Tanker said in one of the episodes of Dragon Ball Z, I don't remember which one, but Earth went on to a universal tournament, and that's where they found the Super Namekian. I still don't know what you're talking about, Tanker. Dude, I know Pycon. Are you talking about Pycon in the Otherworld tournament?
Did you see
which was filler?
The legendaries are out.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
I just saw like a clip, and I know that you're interested in it, but I don't care about it anymore.
I haven't been able to play any Pokemon Go over the summer. I don't have a car, and where I'm living isn't really
It's not close to the
pedestrian
square.
friendly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also not close to the square. And Shelbyville, the only good place for Pokemon Go is the square.
And it's really good, but everywhere else is trash. I don't know if the high school's any good.
Universe 7 is Goku's universe, Tanker. It's like the normal Dragon Ball universe.
The airport has a lot of flying types around it, or at least it did like a year ago when I played.
It seems like you wouldn't want a bunch of flying types around your airplanes.
Yeah.
Christian the Spider
Probably,
says,
but
Pycon is canon in my heart.
all I've ever seen there are like a bunch of Pidgeys. Because I played back when only First Gen was out, and those spawned, and then I think that's all I ever saw, but it was like every couple of minutes that they pop up, so.
Hey man, Pidgeys are worth as I level up.
They're worth, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine where you are isn't super good. There's not a lot of places that are pedestrian friendly and...
Nerd Tinker asks, is Dragon Ball Super canon? Yes, Dragon Ball Super is canon. Dragon Ball GT is not canon. Oh.
Go on, I'm sorry.
Oh no, what was your question?
Why isn't GT canon?
Okay, so Dragon Ball Z ended, and then they were like, ended? You know how much money the shit makes? Like, it can't just be over. And then Toriyama was like, I'm not gonna write another series. If you guys want like some ideas, I can do some concept art. And he was like, yo, slap that dick on this table. Let's go. Give us that concept art. So he drew a few pictures, and then they were like, what can we do with this? And they did a whole series. Kirby said, Dragon Ball GT isn't canon. What the fuck? He's doing that as a joke, though. Kirby knows.
Why wouldn't it be canon if Toriyama was like, here's the concept art for it, go?
It froze up. Okay, now we're good. So Will asked, yo, if Toriyama drew the concept art, why isn't it canon? Because he didn't write the story.
Did he write the story for like all the other ones?
Yeah, for Super, he's doing it in a weird way. He wrote an outline. So, like, all the story beats he wrote, but then he gave one outline to Toei and one outline to Toyotaro. Toyotaro, by the way, is a guy who wrote a fan manga of Dragon Ball. He essentially wrote his own version of GT that he called, like, Dragon Ball AF or whatever. It may be later than GT. It may be, like, a after GT book. I've never read it. But Toriyama read it and said, man, this guy does the closest to my style of any other person I've ever seen. Which seems like such a big thing to say. A lot of people draw fan shit for Dragon Ball, for him to look at that and be like, shit, that looks like me. Let's do it. So Toyotaro went from being like a fan fiction writer to being the actual writer of the Dragon Ball Super manga.
I mean, isn't that what happened with Harry Potter Book 8?
Is that what
The
happened?
Cursed Child? I think that's what happened with The Cursed Child. Like, it's essentially a fan fiction.
So did J.K. Rowling like not write that one?
No. I mean, I think she, like, had some say in it because it's still her IP, but... And, like, her name's on it, but I don't think she, like, actually wrote a significant amount of it.
Huh.
I think it's just some guy that was like, hey, here's the thing, and she's like, I love it. I love it so much.
It's interesting to look at whatever Toriyama's outline must have been. I mean, because we know that it's a planned out story because there's an outline, but Toei sometimes takes things in a different direction from Toyotaro based on the outline. So you can tell that anything is the same is what Toriyama wrote, and anything that's different is Toriyama like left a hole in it. There's Elizabeth once again saying, "Oi, can you also put a like on this channel?" Really appreciate it. Can we get up to 5 likes?
How many are we at right now? Still 2?
They claim that we've hit 3. Sometimes when you look at the live stream through the phone, it'll be 1 off. So we're currently at 4 viewers and I guess 3 likes. Yo, can we get up to 4 likes? Enough to match the number of viewers? That'd be pretty sweet.
That's pretty hard, Jet.
That 100%
I'd be happy
1-to-1
with
ratio.
75%. That's pretty good.
Oh, they're speaking Spanish. I believe that you guys know what I'm saying. Kirby said, I'm going to leave for a bit, but I'll be back if the stream is still going. Solid. I mean, we've almost gone for 40 minutes. It's probably going to stop after a little bit.
It may stop, or just set it up in a dark corner and you just get to watch darkness for the next several hours.
Christian said, happy belated 420. Yeah, I mean, it's hella belated.
I mean, for us, it's
6.
An hour and 40 minutes late.
Yeah. I zoomed in, but
It's pretty late.
the camera zoom is ass. It's not enough to get the microwave.
He might be in a different time zone.
Oh, he's definitely in a different time zone. That's what I'd imagine.
I mean, he'd probably be in just one that's an hour off.
It depends, because we have some people who are, like, in foreign countries.
Okay, so foreign countries.
Nerd Tanker says, anyways, Dragon Ball Super Episode 34, I think, 70 are all at the Universal Tournament. What are you talking about, Tanker? Whenever you talk about Super, I always get hella confused, because I've watched all the Super. He says it's 7 p.m. for him. It's even later for you. That's a hella hard belated 420 on all fronts.
So he's in the time zone that starts in Knoxville.
So, Nerd Tanker, the Universal Survival Arc, or whatever, where they have 80 fighters, is something that just recently started in Dragon Ball Super. And we're almost at episode 100.
Have you been playing any Magic?
No one plays Magic in Shelbyville for real.
Plays Magic in Shelbyville?
Peter
Oh,
does, but like,
Christian says he lives in Florida.
Okay. Yeah, it's huge. It's like, oh, I live in Britain, and you've got like 2 hours, and then it's like, oh, I live in Florida, and it's like 12 hours to drive from one end to the other.
George used to be on the stream a lot for Yu-Gi-Oh! But I think it was conflicting too much with like his normal sleep schedule, because he would come to our 3 p.m. stream and he'd be like, well, no, it starts at 1 and ends at 3, and around 3 it would be midnight for him, and he'd be like, I gotta go to bed.
Damn.
Calculating the hours.
Yeah. So England, France, Germany? No, Germany. I think
he was maybe Russian. It's one of those things where I never
Russian
ask. I never.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I know for a fact that Britain is 6, France is 7, and I think the next one starts in Germany, but I could be off of Germany. I'm not sure.
And then at 10 p.m., we would do the other live stream, and George would be like, I just woke up. So he'd like hit up both, but I think that was a little too much for him, because I haven't seen him in a minute.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. If you guys want to like kill your time, just like destroy any free time you have left, if you have any free time left, I don't know. Just start watching Crit Roll. It's great. I'd recommend it. And there's like 430 hours of it. on the Geek and Sundry website and on YouTube.
I think you're talking about the Universe 6 tournament, Tanker. He mentioned episode 78. That feels too soon. Is that not during the Goku Black arc?
It's pretty fun. They've gone from level 8 or 9, and they're at like 18, like I said. So it's a lot of stuff.
Alright.
It's hard to keep up with things based on episode number.
In Dragon Ball?
Yeah, for like Dragon Ball Super right now. Because like,
Oh, okay.
I think the Resurrection F arc is around like episode 30 or something. It's really gross to like, in my mind, say, yo, do you remember episode 65 or some shit? And it's like, is that all you're going to tell me is the number? Like,
You don't memorize things by their episode number, Jet?
Ben 10, like the original series, I used to be pretty good with that. Right now, all I can say is like, the first episode is, and then there were 10. But I used to like know the entire first season, where I could tell you like the episode title, what number it was, and like what happened in that episode. But now I can't fuck with original Ben 10 anymore. It wasn't that it was a bad series, but it doesn't rewatch well. Ben 10 Omniverse had the most like cool shit happen, and it's the most rewatchable. I found myself going back multiple times to see things like, yo, remember when Bens from a whole bunch of different universes got together and fought each other, and then all the universes got erased except for one, and it was a universe where Ben didn't have an Omnitrix, so you had to get an Omnitrix for another one, and you had to restore all the other universes. Yo, you remember that one time future Ben turned into a fusion between an alien that's essentially a nuclear reactor, and the other one is a god, and he was destroyed by a time wave? Oh wait, that was the same one I just mentioned. Anyways.
That's an insane episode. Is it a special, or is it just like a 30-minute episode?
It was like a 2-parter.
Okay.
And it was pretty sweet. Like, that one's really rewatchable. Like, Omniverse was not afraid to do a lot of time travel, multiverse kind of things. Christian the Spider said, I hate the Ben 10 Omniverse art style. A lot of people stopped watching because of the art, and then it told the best stories of the series. I recommend you check it out.
It sounds like a big problem.
Nerd Tanker said, I didn't know that it was on Universe 6. I just knew it had multiple universes. Yeah, the first tournament that they do that's multi-universal is the Universe 6 tournament, which is between Universe 7 and Universe 6. Right now we're talking about Dragon Ball again. And then they had the preliminaries to the Universal Survival Tournament, which has Universe 7 versus Universe 9. And now we're in the Universe Survival arc, which has, like, most of the multiverse in the Universal Survival Tournament. But there are a few universes that got excluded. And if your universe loses, your entire universe gets erased. We've already had a whole universe get erased. And the tournament started a few episodes ago.
Wow,
That escalated quickly.
that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, Universe 7 is gonna be the winner.
I'm actually not sure.
Or a winner.
Because the prize of the tournament is like the Super Dragon Balls. So I think we could technically see Universe 7 lose the tournament. And then, like, whoever wins could be like, but I wish them back. Or I wish them into my universe. Or some shit like that.
That's true. They could pull, like, a combined universe thing.
Yeah. But based on Dragon Ball Super spoilers, just to give you the warning, it seems like something bad's going to happen in the middle of the tournament, because one of the spoilers said, Goku's 10th back. Something terrible is going to happen. Stay tuned. Like, that's what the spoiler said.
God and Super. Is it the God one?
Yeah, in Dragon Ball Super, Goku, his strongest form right now is Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Kaioken times 10, I think is what we've seen.
Okay, how the fuck can he lose? He can. He's 50 times. So he's 500 times more powerful than something that would put him equivalent to a god, right? Right?
Oh, because you're saying we know that,
Super Saiyan gives you times 50.
Well, we don't know if Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan... They've described it different ways, which is why I can't say it. There was one thing where he said it's like being God, but also being Super Saiyan. To which then I'd be like, yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
But his base became equal to Super Saiyan God.
Right.
And then he turns Super Saiyan normally, but that's not the same thing as Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, even though it should be, because it's 50 times Super Saiyan.
Right.
I mean God. Fuck. So
Maybe.
The way that Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan works is you keep all the ki inside of you, and then you flare it up. By the way, people call it Super Saiyan Blue, so that they don't have to say everything.
So that's good. But then with Kaioken times 10, right? So it's at least 10 times more powerful.
Yeah, than just normal Super
Right.
Saiyan God Super Saiyan. I normally say the full thing. I'm sorry.
Right. So, doesn't he turn like a weird purpley color?
You would think, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought would
Does it
happen.
not?
The red goes around the blue.
What? So dumb. Oh man, I would prefer it turning purple.
That would look really cool.
Doesn't even just say Super Saiyan purple.
Yeah.
Like you've got red, which is just some Kaioken.
Mhm.
Then you've got yellow, which is some Saiyan. And then you got blue, which is God.
Well, there's no yellow when he goes blue.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I mean, there's...
I know,
it's
but like
debatable.
you could just identify all of the stages by colors.
So Nerd Tanker says, that tournament has the Namekian that fused with all the other ones. He underestimates his opponents more often than you think. Goku underestimates his opponents way often than he should.
Blue with red spiral.
Super Saiyan blue with the red spiral.
So one issue is that they've revealed that there's a mortal that exists in one of the universes that's stronger than a god of destruction. And a lot of people think Jiren may be that mortal.
I mean, but didn't
Goku didn't beat Beerus.
No, but he did like some shit, and for a period of time he was like close. And now that he's permanently that powerful.
They've revealed that, well, for one, Super Saiyan... Oh, wait, true, his base is still...
Right, and so like, jumped up, he's got to be like
they revealed that
competitive.
Beerus wasn't using, like, even really, like, a fraction of a percent of his
Yeah,
power.
yeah,
Beerus
so a
yells at
fraction-
them.
If it's 1/5, if it's 1/500th, right, of his power.
Not even.
If it was 1/500.
You're
is
like,
that
then we
fraction
would
of a
do the
percent?
Kaioken thing in the
Kaioken,
Super Saiyan,
Super Saiyan
and you'd be
would
like, he'd be up
close.
there.
Like, I mean, he's got to be close when he's like maxed out.
Christian
And
the
he's also gonna
Spider
pull
says,
some shit.
watching on Xbox One. Nerd Tanker says, hashtag Beerus is the new Cell.
Yeah. We know that Goku's gonna pull some shit. Also, what happened to Gohan being the best Saiyan?
So, he got his potential unlocked, right?
Yeah.
And then what ended up happening was that everyone thought that was his base, because that's what you would assume. But it seems like he has to transform into potential unlocked. And that happened when he trained with Piccolo recently. So now he's reattained his, like, unlocked potential thing.
Yeah.
But dude, during the Resurrection F arc, my nigga had stopped training. And he was like, I may be able to turn into Super Saiyan. Maybe. Like, he felt like he had fallen so low he couldn't even do that.
Well, like, old school Gohan was better than Goku. Like, Goku straight up said that.
Yeah, he was the first to hit Super Saiyan 2
Yeah.
of anyone.
So why did he ever stop? Because he was the best.
He wants to be a scholar, is the big thing.
So?
It's like, why can't you do both?
Yeah, why can't you do both?
Facts.
Look at Trunks. Trunks is a successful guy. And Vegeta's a successful businessman and, like, a cool guy also.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about GT, then that's, like, not even canon.
I know, but
Yeah.
like we've seen examples of where people can do both in a
Yeah.
Dragon Ball property.
Well, I mean, to be honest, Trunks can just have Capsule Corporation handed down to him. It's not like he has to work for it. And Vegeta doesn't work a fucking job. Like,
Yes,
he essentially is married to, like, their equivalent of the richest person in the world.
yeah.
I think
So
it's a train of thought going along the lines of the hunter that chooses to pursue both the deer and the rabbit will catch neither.
alright.
Unless that hunter is a Super Saiyan.
got that old school Civ 4 reference in there.
And Gohan is, like, willing to pursue being a superhero and a scholar at the same time.
Yeah.
But not train.
Yeah, I know.
And then you have a daughter and, like, a family. And he does talk about how, like, he needs to be able to protect them. Doesn't train. Doesn't.
Yeah, Goku's over here with kids and grandkids, and he's like,
He doesn't take care of his kids. Don't even, like, put that shit on him.
but he does protect them.
True, but, like, by proxy. Like, he would fight the person regardless of...
Like, the way he protects them is that he kills all earth-ending threats.
Yeah.
So, it's fine. It's fine.
When he was Super Saiyan 3 and he was fighting First Form Boo, he says he could have killed Boo, but because he was already dead, he was there for a 24-hour pass for the living world.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I should let the living take care of this because I've already passed and it's not my responsibility.
What type of
Kirby says Chi-Chi took care of Gohan and then Goku throws Gohan at enemies. You know, Kirby has a point. Like, Gohan is raised to be a scholar and then Goku shows up and he's like, God showed up and he's blowing up everything.
Isn't Chi-Chi like top notch though? Well, she was.
Yeah.
When they were kids, like
Because they fought against each other in like a world martial arts tournament.
Yeah, but like why?
Why doesn't she fight? Because she's like way under even like Yamcha.
Is she?
I think so. Yeah. No. Yes. Confirmed.
No, 'cause
someone can test me on that. Hit
her
me
dad
up.
was like her dad
The
was,
Ox King.
Yeah.
And he was really
and
strong.
He was one of the top guys.
But I mean, I feel like Yamcha's probably even above the Ox King. It's one of those things where in Dragon Ball you can be really strong, but like in Dragon Ball Super, like there's so much scaling that's happened. You're not shit
and
anymore.
Yamcha's been in Super.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, hold on. I'm not saying Super is what made Yamcha better. Z is what made Yamcha better. Because he trained with Kami and King Kai and shit like that.
And Chi-Chi and Ox King didn't either.
Nope.
In old school Dragon Ball, like, Yamcha was real trash.
He was better in Dragon Ball. Like, comparatively to, like, a lot of other things.
To
He had
Bulma,
Wolf Fang
like-
Fist and shit.
Compared to, like, Bulma, he was better.
Oh, by the way, this is really weird. In the Saiyan Saga, Bulma's official power level is 10. Now, I know that doesn't sound like much because 10 is a really small number. The average power level for a human is 5. And at 10, you're twice as strong. And no, hold on, I'm sorry. You're twice as strong and you can break boulders. Kim just sent me a text. I can't wait. Excited, exclamation point. Guys, I need to end the stream. I need to tell Kim that we probably can't make it. I wish
we're
I
gonna work something out.
No, Jonathan, we don't
No,
have
We
a...
just have to make some calls.
Look, in the stream, work something out with your man before you call it.
What would we work out?
Figure it out.
We
Get
have
it in the
friends,
stream.
we have phones, we have this list of contacts of people nearby.
People nearby. in the stream and work it out, guys. You got it.
Yo.
You can't just be like...
Yeah, we got to figure something out. So...
Goodbye, stream.
Yeah, this will decide whether or not we do zip lining. Oh, wait, what are we about to do, like, physically when the stream ends? Are we going somewhere?
Just click the end button. That's what we'll do. Well, not even us. You'll click the end button.
It's
I mean,
all on you, Jet.
While we're planning to do things,
Responsibility.
Just in the stream.
we could still stream during the
have
planning
this,
process.
Bye, stream. Bye. Goodbye. Jet in the stream. In the stream, Jet. Just...
And then the stream... It didn't even end, Will.
Why is the power button not in the stream?
Yeah, Will fucked up ending the stream. I was gonna end it on zooming in on Will, and then right as I hit finish, he like stopped the stream from ending. You ruined yourself.
How does the power button
My
not
plan
in the
still
stream?
works.
How does